Good morning, Tamina Khan is here in TKMaths is fun. In today's video, we will see a concept of ratio, proportion and rate. I will not be able to cover all. I have explained the concept of all, but I have taken the example of only ratio. In the other videos, I will explain the examples of proportion and rate. So this topic is a part of the syllabus of O-level mathematics and IGCSE. So basically in most of the year 10 or 11, this topic is included. So for the rest of my videos on maths, O-level and A-level, you can refer my website address and my blog address, which is mentioned here. So according to the syllabus, it is that you should understand what is ratio, what is proportion, how to handle increase and decrease quantity, use common measure of rate, solving problem involving average speed. So basically in this video, I have focused on this part only and not even this too much because I want to keep the length of the video short. So in the other videos, you will find the video explanation of the rest of the concepts. So to look at the question before, we need to recall the concept, what is ratio rate? Usually students are able to handle the question, they are able to solve it, but they do not or are not able to explain what are ratio and rate. So that shows mechanical approach and one should be able to explain properly what do they mean by this. So if you see here, comparison of two quantities with the same unit. And I have taken example, I'll explain it to you. This called ratio, and it is always expressed in the simplest form. And rate is the comparison of two or more quantities with different unit, right? So if you see here the example, there are 4 boys to every 4 girls in the math class. So I will write here 4:6. If I'm talking about boys to girls, if I will write girls to boys, I will write 6:4. Depends on what you are saying. Similarly, for the rate, like we said, different unit. So the car burns 20 liter of petrol or gas for every 200 kilometer travels. So this is called rate. Now, what is proportion? Two or more related quantities whose ratios can be simplified to the same fraction. Now, this seems very difficult because you see, when we explain maths in words, it is really difficult to understand. But at the same time, if an example is given, it becomes easy. So if you look at this example, because for proportion, we take the example of map scale, similar figure. These are the best examples of proportion. So if you solve these type of questions, basically you are applying the concept of proportion here, right? I hope you understand ratio, rate, and proportion and the difference between all of them. Here, first of all, I will start, for example, rate. So 60 miles in 3 hours, the car covers, for example. When you simplify it and you bring it to 1 hour, how many miles covered? That is called unit rate. Sometimes it is said, okay, use the unitary method. So what does it mean? Unitary method mean in 1 unit, how much the other things happen. So like in 1 hour, 20 miles are covered, right? So this is called rate. And ratio is written like this. There are 2 ways to write it. You use this colon symbol. So you say 7:3, or you write 7/3, right? But unit has to be same, like boys to girls. Now doesn't mean both boys, like we're talking about human being here in the classroom, right? So this is what does it mean by same unit. And proportion, if you will read this definition, will give you little difficult time. So I have already explained you what is the meaning of proportion from here. The important thing is that how it is, or where it is applied, I have already told you in similar figure, scale drawing, these type of things. So let's take here, I have taken here 3 examples from past paper questions. Basically, these are past paper questions. One simple, the other 2 are little challenging because when we start explaining, it should be from the basic. So if question says 4x:9 is equals to 7:3 and calculate the value of x, you just need to write it in the fractional form, which is easy to handle. So after writing it into the fraction form, you can simply do cross multiply like we do and calculate the value of x. So this is a very simple example of a proportion question, ratio question. And by the way, because it is forming an equation, so it takes the form of proportion. So this portion is ratio, but overall it is making a proportion question. Okay. For example, in this question, if you read here, we are talking about party where female and male have participated participated. So the ratio of the female participant to the male participant is 4:9. Now, this is not representing actual number of male in the party or female in the party, because ratio is expressed in the simplified form, right? So the next information is that male participants are 30 more than female participants, and we have to find the total number of people. Okay, I have explained here by two methods. One is very commonly used, the other is with the help of algebra. The point is, I have noticed when students are explained in a particular manner, the other method they do not accept easily. But being a mathematician, I believe that you should be able to understand all the ways it explains, right? Even if you are not familiar with something, when somebody explains it to you, you should be able to get it, right? That shows that you are looking at the thing on a broader spectrum, not in a narrow form. Okay, so the best way is, or the easy way, that female is to male ratio is 4:9, and the difference between them is of 5 ratios, right? Their ratio. And you know, when we are talking about ratio, we mean everything is equally divided. So whatever is the total number of people is, if I add 9 plus 4, which is 13, it means those people are divided into 13 equal portions. Okay, 9 plus 14 is 13. And the male ratio is 5 portions more. This is the meaning of it. The question is saying, giving you information that more, male participants are 30 more. If ratio wise they are 5 more, and as a human being they are 30 more, what does it show? It shows that 5 ratio is equals to 30 participants, right? So from here you can get what is the number of people in one ratio. So one ratio is equals to 6 people, right? And 9 plus 4 is 13. It means total ratios were 13, like all the people were divided into 13 equal portions. So 6 times 13 will give you total number of participants in the party, which is 68. The other method which I said is algebraic. If you don't get it, so don't mind, you can just bear it with it for a few minutes, then we will see the next example. So female participants 4 times x, male participants 9 times x. Now why x? Because x is representing how many people are in one ratio, right? Because female have 4 ratios and male has 9 ratios, but each one of them have same number of people in one ratio. So that's why multiplying by x. And when you minus it, it is 30, right? 9x minus 4x is equals to 30. That is the difference between them. So x is equals to 6. And after that same concept, 9 plus 4 is 13. 13 multiplied by 6, which is 78. I hope you understand. This is also one way of writing it. Okay, so the last question, which is always, not always, but most of the time taken as a challenging question by students when we are talking about 3 ratios here. If you see, information is given about x is to y and y is to z. Now y is a common letter in it. It has common value, whatever is it representing. And you have to find the ratio of x is to y is to 7. Now I can't write 11 is to 8 is to 7, because here y is representing 8 ratio, here y is representing 6 ratio. So I have to try to make it same. So the technique of solving this question is, for example, x, y, z, right? So for x is to y, I'm writing 11 is to 8, which is given to me here. And for y is to z, I'm writing 6 is to 7. Now I have to make this y same. So I'm taking LCM of it, right? LCM of this. So LCM of this is equal to 24. So I'll multiply this by 3, this whole, and this I'll multiply by 4. So that will give me 33 is to 24, 24 is to 8. So now I can say XYZ is equals to 33, 24, 28. And when question says find out X is to Z, you can straight away write 33 is to 8. Right? Now, last question. Simple ratios but given in different form. You see, units are different here. When units are different and somebody asks to simplify the ratios, you have to bring them into same unit first of all. So to convert kg into gram, I'll multiply this by 1000. So it will be 1500. After that, you can easily simplify 1500 and 350. It will be equals to 30:7. And you don't need to write unit here. When it is a simplified form, you don't need to write unit here. Now, second thing, if it is given in fraction and you have to write in the simplest ratio form, the technique is you try to make the denominator same. And for that, you take the LCM. So when you take the LCM of 3, 2, and 8, it is equals to 24. So you can multiply this by 24, this by 24, this by 24, and you will get the ratio 16:36:15. If you get numbers here which can be cancelled, like simplified further, then you will do so. Otherwise, no need. Okay. So thank you very much for watching this video. Please share it with your friends and like and subscribe it, and give your comments if you need any particular help in any particular question. Take care. Bye.